Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm an exercise physiologist here at Northhab Physio and Fitness. Today we're going to run through a bit of a gentle circuit exercise video, so I'm going to take you guys along. First exercise we're going to start with is the sit to stand. So that one's done. All you'll need is a chair or your couch, anything you want to use. You can use kind of the edge of your bed if your bed's not too high. So you start in a seated position so that your feet are flat on the ground. Have your feet about hip width apart. And then you can have your hands wherever is comfortable, so you can cross them across your chest, have them on your thighs, doesn't matter. First thing you're going to do is lean forward and shift your weight into your heels, and then stand up, and then slowly sit back down, like that. So try and control the descent. That's it. So today we're going to go three lots of 10 of most exercises that we go through today. So I'll start, and you guys can follow along. So that's 10 repetitions there. So it's important that after you've done 10, you have a good 20-30 second rest, let yourself recover, and then we'll go again. In the rest period, I'll just let you guys know things that we want to avoid and how we want to do this exercise correctly. So as we're standing up, we don't want to let the knees come in. So a good way to picture that is to let the knees follow your toes and stand up nice and strong like that. Okay, so that's your rest period. We'll go into the second set now. That's the second lot of 10 done. Another important tip with this one is to make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. So things to avoid with this one is to not have your feet too far back and rise up on your toes. Keep your feet forward so that they start flat. Shift your weight into your heels and then stand up. And also when you're sitting back down too, keep the weight in the heels to sit back down as well. We'll go third and final set. That's the 3 lots of 10 done. Next one we're going to do is a bed push-up, so an exercise for the chest. So if you have a bed or a bench that can be used, your starting position is going to be hands just outside of your shoulder width apart. You're going to stand back up so you're on your toes, and then you're going to lower your chest down to the bed or bench and then push away. So simple as that. If that's a bit too challenging, what you can do is come up to a wall like this. Same setup. Hands outside of the shoulder width apart, back up on your toes, and lower basically your nose into the wall and press away. So that's a kind of a regression if you find that too difficult. Again, if this is too easy for some, you can also go lower and come down onto the ground and do a normal push-up on your knees or your feet. But about a middle ground today is either kind of a bench or a bed push-up, so that's where we'll start. So we'll get into the first lot of 10. That's the first lot done. Important tips with this one is as you're lowering yourself down, Don't let that back just arch in and dip, so try to kind of keep strong through the tummy and keep your body in a straight line as you lower yourself down, so it can be a bit of a core involvement with this as well. Alright, we'll go second set. Other ways to kind of progress and regress in the position you choose as well is to either stand a bit closer, so reducing the angle you have to go off and pressing, or coming further away as well. So that's another way to kind of adjust how much, I guess, how hard the resistance you're pressing in and out is. Right, we'll go third set here. That's 3 lots of 10 done. Next exercise we're going to be doing on a bed, or if you're comfortable getting on the ground, you can do it on the ground as well. But for today, we'll demonstrate it on the bed. So it'll be on your back. So you'll notice that when you get on your back, you'll just be in a neutral, whatever neutral position. Usually that's a bit of space under your back. What you're going to do is roll your hips back and flatten your back into the bed, like that, and then you're bringing your legs up. It's what we call a tabletop position. Then we're going to extend out. So with this one, we're just going to go 5 repetitions each side, so a 10 in total. So just let yourself relax in your rest period. Then when you're ready to go again, re-tilt those hips, so flatten your back into the bed, engage your lower core, get back up into your tabletop position, and then go again. 5 the other side. A bit of a regression for this one, if you find this a bit too hard, is to tilt your hips again back into the bed and get that core engaged, and then just doing leg extensions just where you hold that tilt. So hold that core engagement. So that's a bit of a regression. So we'll go again, last set. Okay, that's that one done. Our next one we're going to do on the bed as well. So stay in the position you're in. You're going to bring your feet about hip width apart, bring them up a bit like this. And we're going to do glute bridges. So how this is done is pressing through your heels. You're going to raise your hips towards the ceiling. Just like that, squeezing for a second or two at the top, and then slowly back down. So again, we'll do 3 lots of 10 of these. way to progress this one is to change it to a single leg. So what you can do is bring that leg in a little bit closer, have this leg up in the air, and do the same thing but on a single leg. Just like that. That's just another way to kind of overload and progress the exercise. Another progression idea with this one as well is for those of you at home that have a little band you can put around the legs, just above the knee height's fine. You can go into your glute bridge like this and then do little pulses at the top against the band and then come back down. So that's another idea. That's that exercise. Our next one, you'll need a wall, so any wall's fine. What you're going to do is place your elbows up against the wall like this, just having your arm about 90 degrees, elbows up against the wall. Standing however's comfortable, so if you want to rest your bottom up against the wall, that's fine. Then you're going to press into the wall, like a max hold for about 3 seconds, and then release. So pressing into the wall, open out the chest, then release. So we'll go 3 lots of 10 of these. So that's the first lot of 10. So this one's just working on back muscles here as you press into the wall. And with each repetition, try to hold for a good 2 to 3 seconds as well. So that's the second lot done. And make sure we're trying to rest for a good 20 to 30 seconds between each set as well. Okay, so that's our 3 lots of 10 of that exercise there. Our next one's going to be lunges on the spot. So what you can do is do that next to a bed or a bench, and you can lightly hold on for a bit of support as well. So what we're going to do is a bit of a backwards lunge today. So start with your feet together like this, hold on to your support. You're going to take a nice big step backwards. Your back foot can be up on its toes, and you're just going to drop that back knee just to whatever depth you're comfortable. So drop a little or drop a bit deeper if you can, and back up and returning to your start position. So we're going to do 3 lots of 5 other legs, so 3 lots of 10 total. That's the first lot of 10. Another way you can do this as well is you can combine the lunges in a bit of a walking fashion. So how that's done is taking a big step forward, again that back leg up on its toes and just dropping the back knee, pushing off into your next step. So that's another nice way to do your lunges. And it'll get your heart rate up a bit quicker too if that's your preference. That's second set done. And this is a good exercise just for all the muscles of the lower legs. Help put up all your hip muscles and your quads. So that's a really good one. We'll try not to let our knee touch the ground as well as we're going down. So just pausing a little bit. That's the 3 sets of 10 of our lunges. Our last exercise is calf raises for today. So with your calf raises, you'll want to just go up behind a chair or by a wall, whatever you have available. And it's simply as kind of rising up on your toes and lifting your heels off the ground. So just like this. We're going to go 3 lots of 10 of these. So that's the first lot of 10. You can vary up your calf raises quite a bit, which is pretty cool. So a couple ways to progress them is, again, similar to your glute bridges. You can just come on the one leg and do it single leg, like that. You can come off a double leg and just do a pause at the top and kind of accentuate that lowering down, which will make it a bit more challenging. Or if you've got a step, you can also step up onto the step and drop below with your heels on the step, and then back up with onto your toes as well. That'll also kind of increase the challenge. Second set done. This one's a good exercise to kind of build up all your calf muscles. Muscles up here also run down into the foot as well, so it's also going to help with that ankle stability and your balance as well. So we'll go third set now. that one's all done. That's all our exercises for the video today. So this video was a bit of just a general circuit, so full body strengthening. Thanks for following along, guys.